This week on Business Mike, the business of image and lifestyle. My guest today is Suret Louw. She's the founder of Alive, an image and lifestyle company in South Africa. Suret is a professional image consultant, makeup artist, personal fitness trainer, and qualified counselor. In today's show, Suret will offer some insight into the often misunderstood lifestyle industry. All this and more next on Business Mike.
You're listening to the Business Mike podcast. Amazing interviews with inspiring entrepreneurs. Subscribe on iTunes and Stitcher Radio for a brand new episode every Monday.
Who's gonna save the world tonight?
Hello and welcome to another episode of Business Mike. My name is Dowdy and today I'm joined by Suret. Suret, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Dowdy. It's really nice to be here.
Why don't you start us off by just briefly telling us about yourself and what you do?
Well, firstly, I live in South Africa, which I really enjoy, and I'm going to be here forever and ever. I love living here. I have three passions that I make sure I include in my life every day. I like exercise, I like beauty and style, and I'm very interested in psychology. And I decided to make sure that those three passions will become the way I make money and become the business of my life. And that's what I do. So I think maybe I can't even tell you that I'm working because I'm having fun all the time and I'm doing what I love.
How did it come to become a business for you? Was it something you're doing as a child, or did something spark this excitement of the business that you now have?
What happened actually, the interest I had in it grew and grew, and I made sure I qualify myself in all the areas. And then the strange story is actually that I was invited to be a bridesmaid to two of my friends in 1 year. That was very hectic. I don't know if you know a lot about brides, but a bride can be a bridezilla if you don't treat her well. And I realized, you know what, I can actually make sure I make money out of this and offer my services to brides. And that's kind of from there, it just grew and grew and grew into the business I have today.
Was this something whereby your friends would actually say, I'm willing to pay you to do this? How did you know that this could actually be a business?
No, that was quite hard. I knew that I will have to work to get the recognition from them and to convince people that it's not a luxury, because depending on the income group you live in, some people feel they already know how to dress and they already know how to make themselves look great and good and perfect, that they don't need your advice and your opinion. And now I had to convince them to pay me for that. So that was quite a thing. But I managed to do it, and that's how I got my business.
When I think about your business, it's one of those that are very challenging. You've just given us an example there of someone that's convinced that they know how to dress. So what are some of the things you say to people to encourage them to trust you as a stylist? I
always give my opinion, so they can take it or leave it. And also my big factor and thing I often use is to surprise them. So surprise them with the knowledge I have, surprise them with the opinion, and just make sure I surprise them with the exceptionally good service I give. Even though they haven't paid me for something yet, if they ask a question and I give my opinion on something style, I often get questions from people saying, what should I wear for this event? Or are these earrings looking good on me? Or how is this looking? And then I just give my honest opinion. And from there, you win their trust, and then they trust you more and more until they pay you for your services.
And from your experience, obviously, working in this industry, how does your career I wouldn't call it a career, but the psychology bit of it, the wellness part of it, how does it tie into everything?
That's definitely because I work with women. So a woman has to be understood. She has to feel that you know exactly what she's going through. She has to feel that you understand it, that you've been through it as well. So I rarely have one-on-one psychological sessions with them. It's usually a nice chat, you know how women can be. We end up chatting for 3 and 4 hours. And then I just make sure I'm their friend. And to be that, I have to truly feel it in my heart also. So I make sure I get to know them. I get to know the things they like. I get to know the problems they're dealing with, the worries they have in their hearts. And from there, we actually build a friendship, which makes them trust me more. And from there, the business comes in.
Right. So basically, it's a transformation of beauty, both on the inside and outside. So you try and make them feel comfortable with who they are and with what they're wearing.
Yes, 100%. And I also feel that's what makes my business unique. So if you look at other businesses in my industry, they often focus only on the outside. And I've decided to, again, surprise my customers and my audience and make sure I give a lot of attention to the inside.
Right. Now, that's a very good point, because I've seen very many people that are dressed very well, but they don't walk with confidence. Their clothing is basically the one carrying them. They are not the one carrying their clothing.
Yes. That's also where my business tagline came from: be stylish, be confident, and be fit. And actually, just yesterday, I had a workshop for plus size ladies, which I called Elegantly Curved. And mainly they come here being excited about how to get dressed. And then the surprise element is that I tell them and help them to be confident with what they're wearing. Because when a woman comes into a room, you don't want to think, oh my goodness, she has a lovely dress on. You want to think, oh my goodness, she is a lovely woman. She's so beautiful. And that's where the confidence comes from.
Right. So in an industry like yours with beauty, lifestyle and wellness, what challenges do you face and what are some of the opportunities that are there?
The challenges are to convince people that it's not a luxury. The industry I am in is I'm moving around people with luxury goods, and my service is not a luxury, and I have to convince them, and that's quite challenging to convince someone that they really need the service of how to dress and how to be confident and how to look good and how to be healthy, and that the knowledge they can get on Google and the internet is not always accustomed to them. So you get very good knowledge there out there, but it has to be customized for your life and your body. So that's definitely a big challenge to convince them for that. Yeah.
Right. And now on your website, I saw that you mentioned you can sometimes help clients in other parts of South Africa. How is your business structured? Is it something where you have to meet the people physically, or is it something you can do over Skype? How do you scale your business?
So the reason I put that on is because I am really in love with traveling. I love to travel and to go different places and to meet new people. I have to see my clients. Usually I see them for 90 minutes because I measure them from top to toe. I measure the neck length. I measure the bodies. I measure the waist. I measure every single part of them. I even have to look at their faces to make sure I get the correct face shape for them. So that's why I have to see them. When I travel, I often travel to Cape Town for some of the consultations. When I travel there, I take all my goodies with. It's not a lot of things, so I'm quite mobile with my business, and then I see them in their homes. Sometimes I also have to see them for wardrobe consultations where I have to go into her room, into her wardrobe, and look at the clothing she has to explain to her what she can use and what we have to throw out. And for that also I travel to my clients.
Right. So your business, is it one whereby you do everything yourself, or do you have some people that help you?
I do most of it myself. One thing that I really rely on is my web developer. She is very lovely, and to make sure I took a lot of time to get the perfect personality that will understand my business to develop my website for me. So I work closely with her. And then also, I have a great support system from my friends and my family. Whenever I struggle or whenever I don't know or whenever I need a model or I need some help, then I just call one of my friends and they help me. So that's the support side of it. But with the business, I'm doing it all by myself, yes.
Right. One of the challenges many entrepreneurs have, especially when they own the business and run it by themselves, is that ability to motivate themselves, the ability to kick their butts when they have to. So how do you manage to push yourself through and through, especially when there's nobody to let you know that, you're slacking or something like that?
I'm so glad you're asking this question. It's something I really struggled with. I felt extremely guilty if I slept a little later in the morning, or I didn't stay up late to make sure I work, or if I have to take an afternoon nap, then I would feel extremely guilty. And I learned that to actually make a good success out of your business, it's very important to be yourself. So it's more important to be myself and my own personality than to put a good business picture out there. A good business picture would be if they see I never take afternoon naps, I never sleep late, I'm always busy doing this and that. Whereas the moment I relaxed and decided, you know what, it's okay to take an afternoon nap. It's okay to sleep a little later. It's okay to have coffee with your friend, because that's where the inspiration comes from. And that's where I fill up my own tank so that I can give out to my clients, which is extremely important. If I'm not filled up and happy, then I can't provide a good service to my clients.
So how do you relax yourself sometimes? Obviously, the business stress comes in. You mentioned that you love your business, but I'm sure there are times when you just want to wind down and do something else. What are some of the things you do to relax?
Every Friday afternoon, I take half day off and I go for my ballroom dancing classes, which I really enjoy. I love to dress up, so I make sure I dress up in a frilly dress and I take my high heels with me, and then I do my ballroom dancing for the whole of the afternoon, which is lovely. I also jog a lot, so every Saturday morning and often Sunday mornings, I go out for about 2 to 3 hours for my weekend run. And there I limit my thoughts to investing in my own personality and my friendships and how I can give out to people that are close to me. So I try not to think of business during those times.
Now, earlier you mentioned that you started this business after being a bridesmaid for a few of your friends. But how did you create awareness? How did you expand the word that, I am doing this as a business? What means did you use for the marketing? And what means are you using now that you've already started the business?
When I started out, the finances was a big restriction. So I couldn't use a lot of money to do big advertisements. So the first thing I did was to start a Facebook page and to get as many likes as possible and to rely on the support of my friends to share the page. Then I contacted some people that I knew were in the line of the business. One of my friends, her name is Fikile Mekru, and she is a former Mrs. South Africa. And I contacted her and said, can I please maybe do a few talks for your audiences about image and styling and fitness? And she was lucky for me. She was very open for it, so I could do it. I offered to do it for free. And I gave some talks to her audiences, which was in the beginning very nerve-wracking. And from there, the business just grew. So if I had to sum it up, I would say in the beginning, I did a lot of things for free. You have to give and then you'll get. And that's how it worked for me.
No, that makes a lot of sense, because most people believe that when they offer a service, they're basically being shortchanged. But actually, you're building a brand and a reputation. If people like what you do, even if it's free, but if they can see that it's quality, then the next time you do it, they're more than happy to pay or even tell someone else about it.
And what was actually on that point, what was quite hard for me was in the beginning when I gave a lot of my services for free, then the word spread a little that you offer things for free. Then you get so many inquiries of people wanting to do things for them for free. And it was quite hard for me to say no at some point, but I had to be strict and I had to think of the future of my business to stop doing things for free. And then I had to say no for them. So I don't do anything for free anymore. But in the beginning, it helped a lot for me, and especially to spread the word and do my marketing.
Right. Now, what advice would you give someone that is planning to enter the beauty or lifestyle industry?
I would say usually it's services. If you do beauty and lifestyle as a business, you mostly offer a service. And my big secret that I have with that, and that was a lot successful, is to surprise your clients. Always offer the surprise element. So make sure that to be exceptional with what you do, not even to walk the extra mile is good enough. You have to take a different route that is extravagant, and then they'll definitely remember you and come back to you for business. So
you have to be willing to go above and beyond everyone else, all their expectations.
100%, yes.
Are there any challenges that you're currently facing, which, if there's an expert in that area who is listening, they can be able to help you with?
I would say the money side of my business. When I invest a lot of the money back to my business, and from there to invest it into further opportunities. So to build a second business, or to make sure I invest my money properly, business-wise, and to make good money decisions. That's often that I'm reading up about it quite a lot, and the advice on that would be lovely.
Well, actually, one of the challenges many startup entrepreneurs have is evaluating their business and packaging it in such a way that an investor is happily able to put the money in. For instance, giving them the projections and a breakdown on how the business runs. It's one of the challenges startup entrepreneurs have. For instance, I've asked many of my friends who have businesses, what's the value of your business? And they can't put a number on it because they don't know.
Yes, exactly that. So no, that's quite a challenge that I find. I'd like to do more and more research on it, but I'd feel input from an expert would be lovely.
Right. So when you hear the word success, what person comes to your mind and why?
There's a lot of personalities that comes to mind that's big and made it big. But I think for me, the close friends that I have 3 friends that made a big impact in the business world of their own lives. 2 of them are engineers with an engineering company. And I know the time it took for them to build that up and to make their life a lifestyle that they're living now. I always look up to them and the way they do their business. And then I also have another friend who is in the car dealing business. And I love to learn from people and to listen to them. And I've also learned that if you listen to someone, just let them talk. They will give you all the advice you need. You don't even have to ask a question. If you listen to a successful person, you learn a lot from them.
All right. And what's your favorite memory as an entrepreneur? You've been obviously on a long journey. And first of all, maybe I need to ask, how long have you been in business?
I started with the health and fitness side of it when I was 16 years old. And then when I was 21, I added the psychology part of it. And by the age of 23, I added the styling side. So it's been about 10 years now that I've been in the business. I'd say my favorite memory would be the first time that I opened my fitness studio. I was still living with my parents. I was 18 years old. And I asked them if I can please use their garage to open a fitness studio. Of course, I thought I was mad. And that was actually the first day I had about 10 clients in my fitness class of 60 minutes. And I felt totally inadequate. I didn't know if I could do it. And it actually grew to be a very successful fitness studio. So I would definitely count that as my favorite experience.
Well, that does it for part 1. We're going to take a very quick break and we'll be back with the Trivia Lounge.
I think for a person who wants to be a high achiever in life, having a mentor is an absolute necessity, because there are going to be several instances that you will face circumstances that you just are not familiar with, and you do not know what to do. You don't have the answer. You can't figure it out. And who better to ask for advice than a person who's walked that path before you? And that mentor may not necessarily be somebody who's in the specific field or industry that you want to work in, but somebody who has demonstrated that through their own hard work and achievement, that they have a story that they can share with you, some insights that they can share with you.
For more amazing interviews, go to www.businessmike.com or sign up for our weekly newsletter by simply sending an email to subscribe@businessmike.com.
Welcome back, and now it's time for the Trivia Lounge, where I ask you 5 questions about your industry. This is question number 1. The bikini, a popular 2-piece swimsuit for women, was named after which of the following? Was it a French town near Paris? Was it an island, or was it a river?
I will go for the French town near Paris.
Unfortunately, the bikini was named after an island.
Oh
called, it was actually an island called Bikini Atoll. This is where the US military used to do testing for their bombs for World War II. And its creator, Louis Riyadh, believed that the revealing swimsuit would create such a shock similar to that of the atomic bomb. And that's why he called it the bikini.
Okay, so ladies, make sure you wear a bikini.
Well, that question number 2. This is a true or false question. The buttons on men's shirts are always on the right and the women's buttons on the left. Is that true or false?
I would say that's false.
Well, it's allegedly true and the source is questionable from which I got it. And the argument they make is that this dates back to the Victorian era, whereby the clothing that the women used to wear was so elaborate such that they needed somebody else to help them dress up. So for the buttoning, they had to put the buttons on the left so that the people buttoning up who were predominantly right-handed would be able to help them button up easier. And for the men, the argument is that because they are right-handed and they can dress themselves, it's easier to put the buttons on the right.
I guess I see that as a huge compliment to men then.
Question number 3. What is America's #1 best-selling cosmetic product? Is it mascara, eyeliner, or eyelashes?
I'd go for mascara.
That's absolutely right. It is mascara. Actually, it's Great Lash Mascara by Maybelline. I believe that's how it's pronounced. Yeah. It was introduced in 1971 and they sell one tube every 1.6 seconds.
Okay, so that's a great thing for them.
Yeah. All right, you're doing well. Question number 4. What is the world's best-selling fragrance for men? Is it Armani, Chanel, or Hugo Boss?
Hugo Boss.
It is actually Armani.
Oh no!
Yeah, it is Armani. Final question. From which foreign language does the word cosmetic originate? Is it Greek, French, or Arabic?
Let's say French.
It is actually Greek.
Oh my goodness, okay.
Yeah, it comes from a Greek word called cosmos, which means to arrange, order, or adorn. And actually, the popular fashion magazine called Cosmopolitan is derived from this very root.
Oh wow, that's very interesting. So now I've learned a lot with these 5 questions.
Yeah, well, that does it for the Trivia Lounge. Hopefully, all of us have learned a thing or two, and you've done very well there. Right. If you were cast away to a desert island, what movie would you take with you? What book would you take with you? And what song would you take with you?
Okay, that's interesting. I like questions like this. The book that I'll take with will be To Kill a Mockingbird, written by Harper Lee. That was a book that I read in school. I think it was in 2007 that I read the book. And it just makes such a huge impact on me. It's about a family that has to help people through a court case, and the children was quite involved into the court case. And for them, they had to understand how people behave and what you do in life, how that impacts the other people around you. So that's a book that made quite an impact on my life. And then the movie would be definitely Life of Pi. I really enjoyed it. I don't know if you know the movie, what it was about a guy who got stuck on the sea in a boat with a big tiger. And he tells the story about how it happened and how he got stuck on the boat with the tiger. And in the end, when he got back onto the land, the insurance people asked him to please explain to them what happened. And he told the story as how it happened to him. And they said, but we can't take that story because it doesn't sound true. And he said, but what do you want me to tell you? And they said, but tell us a different story, even if it's not true. And I feel that is quite sometimes how life is. He sees it as that way as it happened. And the other people couldn't understand the imagination and the extravagant things that happened on the sea. and they wanted him to tell a different story, and he just said, no, that's the story. I'm sticking with my story. That's what happened. And it made quite an impact on me.
Wow, no, it's a very nice movie, and I personally haven't watched it, and it's definitely on my list.
So definitely watch it, yes. I'd recommend it. Okay, so for the song, I would take Jacob Whitesides as an artist, and he sings Rules of Beautiful.
You break the rules of beautiful, so stay with me.
Which I'm in love with that song. Every woman is listening, you have to go to listen to that song. It explains how he sings to a girl that every rule of beautiful that there ever was, how she breaks it to be her own kind of beautiful.
All right, well, thank you so much, Suret. How can the listeners get in touch with you on social media or a website, and how can they learn more about what you do and the services you offer?
They are welcome to go to my website. It's www.aliveandbalanced.co.za. And then on Facebook, my Facebook page is Alive in capital letters. And then also I have a Facebook profile called Suret Alive, SURET, Alive as the surname. And they're welcome to go there. I love to have a lot of friends on Facebook. And on our Facebook page, they also, we have often very good examples of how to dress and tips for life and confidence. So it will definitely be a benefit for them to join our Facebook page.
Well, thanks again, Suret, for joining us today on Business Mike. We've certainly learned a lot, and we wish you the very best with your business.
Thank you so much, Daudia. I really enjoyed it, and thank you for your nice program that you have.
Thanks for listening to the Business Mike podcast. I hope you enjoyed the show. If you'd like to listen to more episodes just like this one, simply go to businessmike.com. I would love to hear from you. So if you've got any questions or feedback, you can reach me on Twitter at Daudi Mugabe, on Facebook at Business Mike, or email. That's daudi@businessmike.com. Don't forget, we have a brand new episode every Monday. And until then, take care.
You break the rules of beautiful.